You're listening to the 4-Phase Cycle podcast with your hosts, Dr. Alex and Megan of ZESTY Ginger. If you're looking to naturally balance hormones and learn how to work with your body instead of against it, you've definitely come to the right place. As a duo of an integrative MD and a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and best friends, we use the 4 phases of the female cycle in combination with functional lab work and mindset practices to transform the lives of the women we work with.
We also have a whole lot of fun along the way. If you're new around here, it's best to start with season 1 before jumping around and plan to roll up your sleeves. Showing up for ourselves and enjoying our lives is what good health is all about. Just a quick reminder though, this information is not intended to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your doctor before making changes. Why your gratitude journal isn't working. Today, we are doing something different. Hi, it's Megan. Welcome to a short Mindset with Megan episode. So a couple years ago, I was in a really tough place emotionally and felt very stuck. I had a situation in my life that I really wanted to forgive. I wanted to forgive the situation. I wanted to forgive the people involved. And I had done that on an intellectual level. What I mean by that is I had talked through everything with my therapist. I had understood why, what happened, when. I understood all the different perspectives. I had gone through how it wasn't a reflection of me and so on, right? Essentially, I had walked and talked through this in every angle. I'd even tapped through it as well as used EMDR with my therapist. So I felt like I had given it a really solid go at trying to forgive. But I didn't actually feel the forgiveness. I was still holding on to something that no matter how hard I tried, it was there. Certain triggers would happen or something would be discussed and this old feeling would just like bubble up in me and come flooding out. And it was like there was just no stopping me and no stopping what came out of my mouth. And I knew that there was some really deep programming, some deep subconscious beliefs around what was happening, and that if I wasn't able to address this, I really wasn't going to be able to move on in a healthy fashion. My subconscious was keeping me stuck, or at least that's how I felt, and I just couldn't get over it. So based on this experience, I ended up going to 40 Years of Zen, which is a neurofeedback center outside of Seattle. I was in such a deep, dark place that I was ready to throw tons of money at this problem. So without getting into much detail about how the week was there, because that would be a whole other long episode, I really learned an important lesson that I want to share with you today. So when doing neurofeedback, we have electrodes glued to our head and headphones on. The electrodes are monitoring our brain state, our brain waves, and we were training during this training alpha waves, which is the meditative brain state. So each time we dropped into alpha, we would hear a certain feedback in the headphones. So for me, it was a storm. And the stronger the storm and the thunder and the rain, the more alpha you were producing. So this is like Pavlov's dog, right? So they hear the bell and they start to salivate. My brain would hear the storm and recognize, oh, we're going into alpha. And that's how it was trained. So the first day we were instructed to just really let our brain do its thing and listen to the feedback. But of course, everybody, me included, always wants to manipulate this and hear more alpha, right? That's why we're there. So they mentioned that the easiest way to get into an alpha state is through gratitude. I'm like, all right, easy peasy. I got this. I've got lots of things in my life I'm grateful for. I'm a super positive person usually in general, and I didn't think this would be a problem at all. So I'm sitting there in a dark sensory deprivation pod, not only dark, but cold because I want to keep you awake. This is all on purpose. And I'm trying to think happy thoughts, essentially. So I go for this one. I am grateful for my children. Total silence in my headphones. Like nothing. Not even a little blip. Not even a little storm. Not even a little rain. And I'm like, oh boy. this isn't good. This isn't going to be good. So I'm like, I know I'm grateful for my children, aren't I? Well, at least I thought I was. But this is not working. And that's just making me question everything. So then the more you analyze, so thinking and planning, that's the beta state. And that's the opposite of alpha. So when you start thinking, you are going to have less and less of this alpha state. So I thought about it, and a little later, I tried something else, because what was missing from my statement in my head was the emotion. I was just making a statement. And I realized at that moment that that was why I never really felt like gratitude journals helped or worked. I'm doing air quotes because what does that really mean? But I just never really felt I got that much out of them when everybody around me seemed to think they were amazing. And I loved the theory. But I realized I treated a gratitude journal just like another item on my to-do list. I was intellectually checking them off, writing them down, but I wasn't feeling the gratitude. I wasn't being there. I wasn't experiencing it. And this, with the feedback and the headphones, made it so clear at how I had been approaching this. Later, I tried a little different method. So I imagined a very specific time when my daughter and I were laughing hysterically at something, and how she looked over at me and I could just see her face. And the memory created an instant storm. Another time, I imagined the day I gave birth to my second daughter at home. So even though this was not a pleasant experience physically, this was one of the most powerful, empowering experiences I had ever had. So this brought a huge wave of alpha, because I was literally picturing her face, seeing her for the first time in my hands. So here are my takeaways from this experience that hopefully you can apply anytime you're using a gratitude journal, or saying what you're grateful for if you go around the dinner table and say it. Number one, gratitude is something that has to be felt. You have to feel the emotion. You have to be there. It's not a checklist or a to-do item. It's not something that you can just mark off and then think, oh, well, that didn't work. And number two, get more specific. So details are really key to feeling like you're there, to experiencing it, to going to that place, and therefore you are going to have the feeling that goes along with that. So what about you? Do you have a memory that easily pulls up gratitude for you? Imagine starting your day thinking and feeling that you were there. You're getting that feeling, you're being there, and then you're carrying that feeling over to the rest of your day. How would that then ripple into the rest of your life? So that is my challenge for you all today, is to start thinking about, are you using your gratitude list as something to check off and not really getting into the feeling? And if you're not using it at all, think of it as a powerful tool to get into the alpha meditative state, a powerful tool to start your day in an amazing way, or a powerful tool to end your day before you go to sleep, so that you can have more days like that to come. What we focus on grows. So do we want to focus on the amazing aspects of our life, or do we want to continually go back to our problems and anything that is bothering us? Thank you so much for listening to my thoughts today. We'd love your feedback on how you like this short format for occasional mindset tips. Please leave a review if you liked it, or share with a friend who could benefit. That is the best way for our podcast to get to other ladies who love to learn the things that we are sharing. So we hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for coming out to hang with us on the podcast. It is our goal to transform the way women are treated in healthcare, and we need your help. We need your help to get the word out. We have a lofty goal of 1 million downloads, and we know that as this podcast grows, we're going to be able to reach more women, get more amazing speakers for you, and bring the most cutting-edge information.
If you found these podclasses helpful, please take a moment to text 5 women you know the link to the series. We appreciate your help so much. Can't wait to see you next time.